In 2009, the Green Revolution was a genuine domestic uprising, which was tired of the mismanagement and the corruption of the regime that rules Iran and that rules the Islamic Republic. The regime and was able to use social media very effectively to mobilize and people into the streets. The slogans of the 2009 revolution very often were the same slogans of the original revolution in 79. Even some of the chants where people would go on to the rooftops and start chanting Allahu Akbar, which is God is great. Those were things that people did in the 1979 revolution. The way the regime then reacted to the 2009 Green Revolution was that it mobilized its supporters, who roughly represent 1/3 of the population. But some of them are organized paramilitary militias called the Basij. Those people were mobilized into the streets against the demonstrators, and violence was used, and a number of people were killed. And the message that was being sent to the demonstrators was very clear, which is that this regime will not be toppled by a revolution in the streets, and that no amount of blood will, that the regime will spill as much blood as possible to remain in power. And so the revolution, or let's say the uprising of 2009, the Green Revolution, was shut down through violence, and a very clear message that the regime would not tolerate this kind of behavior. Also, the regime mobilized its social media forces, shut down a lot of social media, and controlled the message and controlled the ability of communication internally within Iran, so that that uprising failed, or that revolution failed. In so doing, something happened in Iran that I think changed the nature of the relationship between the regime and the people. A basic element of trust that the people had in the legitimacy of the regime, an element, a kind of an acknowledgement that the regime, the Islamic Republic of Iran, the regime was de facto legitimate, that it was a legitimate regime, was lost after the bloodshed of 2009. I think a lot of people opened their eyes and said, this regime is really willing to use violence to stay in power, and that element of trust and legitimacy that was always accorded to it was withdrawn and was lost. I mean, the US response to the Green Revolution, this was already with President Obama in power, was to essentially say, we're not going to get involved, we don't want to take sides, we were not going to support the revolutionaries, because if we do, we would delegitimize them. So it was very hands-off. Unlike, for instance, in the revolutions that then took place, or the uprisings that then took place with the Arab Spring in Tunisia and in Egypt and Libya, where the US was much more forceful and much more vocal in support of the revolutionaries and their aims in the Arab world. So there was a clear distinction in the way the US behaved in 2009 in Iran, which was very much hands-off, versus in let's say, Egypt, where it was clear that the US was supporting elements of the revolution and ultimately supported a Muslim Brotherhood victory in Egypt and a takeover of the Muslim